Hey Eric, how's the crew out in West Coast?
Oh man, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're having a good time. We've had 2 weeks of rain, which is very exciting for my kids. They think it's like the neatest thing, splashing in puddles. We don't get it very often in San Diego.
Yeah, we just went through almost 4 weeks of rain here, which is not that abnormal, but we're doing an addition onto our house, and we've got a big mud hole in our backyard. So
My kids would love it. Too bad we're so far away. I'd send them over.
I know, I hear you. Well, Eric, you and I, it's so nice right now to connect with somebody instead of just turning on the TV. So I was just grateful you were available for a few minutes, and you and I are in a unique position in that we've appreciated and understood the home based business for a long time.
Yeah.
And, uh, you know, what I really love and grown to love about you is we've got a lot of common values. We know we're children of God first and
Hmm.
husbands and fathers, and we've been able to put that first because we do work from home.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, what was such a alluring thing to me when I made the jump from corporate America to having my own business at home was the fact that I realized I had small kids and they were growing up without me. I never saw them. I was always working, and I have a good work ethic. But the truth is that let's face it, I was really great at my job as a corporate officer, but I wasn't working 10 hours a day when I was at the office. I was present, but I mean, the productive time, half that time.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had to make a change if I ever wanted to be around my kids and actually be part of their life while they were growing up. So one of the things that I loved about the idea of a home-based business is I can be mega productive for 3 or 4 hours a day,
Yeah.
get 10 times more done than I did working for somebody else, and then enjoy my life the rest of the time.
Yeah. I mean, I know I feel the same way. And one of the things I think the home based business was so handicapped for years and decades because, technology's become so important
Right.
to our industry and being able to work from home and actually just, being competitive. If we didn't have technology, we couldn't be competitive. And for most of mine in your earlier life, I'm a little older than you, but it took the entire floor of a 20-foot skyscraper just to house the servers for people to have a desktop computer. And now, I mean, you and I both sitting there, we hold something like this in our hands, and we've got the
Yeah.
computing power of a whole floor in an office building 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, when I started TeamZ, my experience was working in a small corporation, right? Not even a large company, but we had 29 people sitting at desks doing customer service. We had 12 people doing accounting, and when this is just in just 2015 when Zoom came out,
Yeah.
the company that I left was spending more than six figures a year on Cisco, video conferencing.
Yep.
And here I was able to start my business for free. Zoom had the free account. I was able to use Zoom for free. I was able to find customer service software for $25 a month. And so we literally built a company on the model of what we knew, which, a company that I worked at spent about $25 million a year keeping the lights on.
Yep.
And we were able to launch a company that was at a similar level of service for, hundreds of dollars a month.
Well,
It was pretty awesome.
you've done such a great thing for all of us. I mean, I think the fact that you didn't create this business, you didn't create TeamZ, not having had experience in the corporate world and really knowing what the work at home person needed, and I've been able to be at home and help people, not just build somebody else's dreams, but build their dreams. Being
Right.
able to work from
Yeah.
home, and a lot of people, especially right now, I think they're people that my guess is 6 or 8 months ago, they would have begged to be able to push the pause button because they were running wide open. If I could just have 2 or 3 weeks to be at home with my family and do some of the things I want to do. And now
Right.
they're pushing back because they were forced into it instead of it being their choice.
Right.
But, companies like yours and products like TeamZ that offer a desktop mobile, option to help people kind of get organized at home. I know like these young people getting out of college and especially people that are in their 30s, maybe even 40s, they have a hard time. they beg for the freedom that a business at home offers, but then that freedom also becomes their biggest nemesis too, because
Sure.
When you're used to, okay, I've got to get up, shower, exercise, eat breakfast, and leave my house by 5:30, 6 o'clock to beat traffic to get to the office. And like you said, you weren't productive, but you had a schedule. You knew you had your cubicle, you had the meetings you had to be in, you had the conference calls you had to be on. So your schedule was kind of predetermined. We can debate whether it was productive time or not, but you knew what you had to do and where you had to be and what kind of clothes you had to put on. And all these people that are working from home, and even prior to this crisis, people that decided to have their own business at home, they didn't wake up with a plan. They just woke up, and all of a sudden the day was in front of them and nobody told them what to do. And I think my biggest challenge as a leader in the home-based industry, Eric, has been teaching people how to manage themselves. And your tool has been a big help for that.
Well, my background in the corporate world was helping real estate agents, which are, the most free-spirited people out there, right? Yeah. And we used to say it was like herding cats. And, people who desire freedom, and I think all of us do to some extent, to be truly free, you have to have structure. It's like, getting in a Ferrari and hitting the highway. If there weren't lines painted on the highway, there'd be no structure to how fast you could drive. You'd be off the road trying to figure out how to get around other vehicles. So a little bit of structure allows us to go faster, and it's helping people understand that want to be free, that by actually creating some structure and some habits, they can actually go farther and faster and be more free. We built TeamZ around the idea that we get you so organized that you're done in an hour. It's 1 power hour a day. You set aside 60 minutes and you crush it, and then you go enjoy your life. And that 1 hour creates the momentum for the fun stuff. People responding, having conversations, talking to people, connecting, going deeper with people. But that whole idea of, you've got the business owner who sits at home and looks at a list of names that they've written and goes, what do I do? Who do I talk to? What do I say? And just to give them a plan to go after. Well,
your company helps a lot of companies. You're not industry specific. You're very generic because your software really is a productivity tool. But I happen to be with the Juice Plus company, and you and I have been friends, and a lot of our people love what you're doing. And right now, I know that there are a lot of hurting businesses out there, and I think the government's trying to do the best job they can to infuse capital and payroll, to cover the needs of these people. But there's certain industries. I just listened to Darren Hardy, Eric, from Success Magazine, and he was just talking about, you hate to say this sounds so crass in these tragic times. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. But he was talking about how many companies and industries were actually born out of a crisis.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. And I know in my personal experience, it was a career crisis. I had an idea to start a business, but there was a change of leadership in my company, and I was kind of forced out. I always say God's plan, God's timing was not mine. It was like, well, what are you going to go do? Finally start that business or go get a job, But I think this is an opportunity for sure. You and I chatted about it too. I think one of the reasons why I love supporting the network marketing industry is I think it's such an incredible opportunity for just everyday America, or I guess everyone in the globe. Honestly, we happen to be here in the US, but it's such an opportunity for people to create an additional stream of income with minimal effort, minimal investment, and minimal experience, because the roadmap is laid out, and it's for me, that's what attracted me to it. I was stuck stuck corporately, a corporate career that was stuck. It wasn't growing. I needed to create some space economically, and it was very, to me, it was very attractive. That's why I built TeamZ, because I wanted to get it done in less than an hour, because I didn't want to spend more time doing it. But it was a very attractive way to kind of break free and create something on the side. Well, now we're in a situation where so many people, because they can't go to work, are wondering, am I going to get a check? You know, I think more than ever, this is the most attractive time ever for people to go, maybe I should talk to my friend who I've been kind of poo-pooing all this time and look at that opportunity. Maybe it would be great to make an extra $500,000 a month right now from home. I've got some time on my hands, you know?
Yesterday I talked to, have you read the book, The 100X Leader?
No.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy.
I'll check it out.
It's one of my favorites. It's about being the whole thing about a Sherpa that helps people climb Mount Everest. It's about, as a leader, you really need to be a Sherpa. It's not about you getting the credit. It's about you helping other people get where they want to go. It's a great book. But anyway, I just kind of posed the question to him because I was curious, what can we be doing right now so that when we do exit this thing, because there is light at the end of the tunnel, there's hope, and everybody needs to know that. We're going to get out of this. We're coming out of this. But during this time, do we just cope? And cope is kind of another word for wasting time to me. Do we just cope, or do we better ourselves so that when we exit this thing, we're better off than we were when we started it? And, I'm praying for all those that have the virus, especially the elderly that are, in a very vulnerable place. But it almost seems weird, but, there's some industries that are hurting, but our sales are up, Eric. I mean, some of our product lines up as much as 50% since this started. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. First off, it's so convenient to have things shipped directly to the home. And, I did a live the other day where I said, honestly, the whole, I don't know about direct sales. I don't know if I like it. It's like, now it's like, how many things can I get on auto ship? Now the prospect of running out to Costco or Walmart literally puts my family at risk. And if I could get most of the things that I rely on sent directly to the home, I mean, how convenient is that? From a customer standpoint, it makes sense that demand would be up. Not only that, but I mean, Juice Plus is specifically targeted at helping build immunity, which, makes total sense too. In fact, my Juice Plus shipment is due to arrive today. So I got a fresh quad coming in.
Yep.
So I think that's huge. I think that makes so much sense to people. It's funny because we were joking about it. We're saying, hey, which multi-level marketing company does toilet paper? Does somebody do toilet paper? Because, right. So that's the one I want to be in for the next week. But, the bottom line is there is a huge opportunity. We still have to live and we still have to consume. I think this is going to also shift buying habits for the future. We've already moved so much to online shopping, a huge amount of it. And this is, I think, going to push us even farther to service-oriented things coming directly to the home, because when we get to the other end of this, new habits are built. 30 days to build a new habit, right?
Yep.
And so, the last 3 days, I'm in the state of California. We are officially shelter in place order.
Yep.
We're not allowed to venture out of the home except for some exceptions. So we're in a situation where I've now been home for 4 days. I know that's not that long, but 4 days I haven't left. I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't run an errand. I mean, it seems like a day without running errands is so bizarre. But I mean, think about what a month or two of not running errands is going to do to our habit and our daily cycle. It's going to really change, I think, the way things kind of run.
Well, even outside of the industry that you cater to and the industry that I'm in, the home-based business, direct sales, auto ship to your home, and we do it globally from Atlanta or California, wherever you are. The technology lets you do it anywhere. But I really believe, Eric, something I'm noticing, I think corporate America is going to take notice of how much can get done with employees from home.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think there may be a lot of lessons learned during this time period that I think the home-based business and people being productive from home, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, there may be some leases with big downtown office buildings and spaces, like the businesses are going to figure out, I don't need to have everybody in the same place at one time. It actually may be better not to quarantine, but I mean, it may be better to have them spread out. So if something like this happens again, we're not on top of each other,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of industries already work this way. I know the real estate industry used to have these massive real estate offices, where you would have 100 agents with desks. Now typically they might have 10 desks that are empty and a conference room, and the agents come in for meetings They come in to meet clients. Otherwise, they're out doing their own thing. It definitely is. My company, we don't have a location. Everybody works from home that works for TeamZ. We're all from home. We all connect in through software, technology. We never wanted to. What we do is we get together and have dinner. We fly everybody in and get together, connect every once in a while. But otherwise, it's all via Zoom. All of our meetings are via Zoom. Have been since the beginning. And I think the biggest issue, and I used to see this at where I used to work too, was the reticence to letting people work remotely was a feeling that they would have a lack of control.
Right.
The idea that, well, we know they're not going to be working all day. If we're not watching them, they're going to be off making a sandwich. Well, but the bottom line is, and we know this, is this still be just as productive. They working from home, they may only work 4 or 5 hours, but they'll be just as productive, as long as you set those expectations for what people will do. And I just think it's more about what people can achieve rather than how many hours it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, I know that people can connect with me or one of the partners with our company if they want to get started. But I'd love for you, Eric, just to take a minute for those. I mean, I know your company's so generous. You've got a 30-day free trial. People can, check it out and dive in. And you've got amazing training. And we use your training as well as training that we have to mentor and support a lot of our leaders. Can you just for those that don't know about TeamZ, can you just tell them, kind of quickly, how could they go check it out? They're at home.
Sure.
Maybe they want to engage and get organized.
The bottom line is TeamZ is a CRM, and a lot of people don't even know what that is unless you've worked with one of those software platforms. That's the software that manages all your contacts, tracks all your conversations and things like that. But what TeamZ really does, it's a little bit different, is it's designed around building a relationships-based business. And instead of just having you try to figure out what to do with these contacts, it intelligently takes your entire list and creates your daily connect list. So it does it for you so that nobody ever falls through the cracks. It cycles everybody before you. So you just log in and it says, you tell TeamZ, I want to make $100,000 a year doing this. Great. TeamZ says, perfect. This is how many people you need to connect with today. Here's the specific people you need to connect with. And then we also give training and scripts on here's some things you could say to connect. And one of the things that, that I'm really passionate about, this about me, is I don't feel like you should be connecting with people and just pitching your business because it's so self-serving. It's more about connecting at an authentic level and just trying to make people's day. And I'm looking at your Make a Life sign and I'm like, I need one behind me that says make someone's day, because that's where, I'm thinking more granularly, just make people's day. And as we reach out and that's our goal, you can really connect with people, and it creates opportunities, obviously, to talk about your business, but more importantly, it deepens relationships. And so what TeamZ does is just allows people to pretty much effortlessly do this in less than an hour a day. But I think right now, and I've had people ask me, Eric, do you think with everything that's going on, it's appropriate for me to wish somebody that they have an awesome day today?
Yeah.
Like, do I think it's appropriate? I think it's more needed than ever.
Yeah, they need it.
And I understand the idea that people, I guess it's kind of like people feel like we need to go into mourning. And even if that is appropriate to your specific situation, I still think people want to have a great day. My former mentor used to say, his philosophy was, it's a good life. He used to say, today might not be a great day, but it's a good life.
Yeah.
Like it's still a good life. Right. And so that was kind of his mantra was that. It was like, remember, like today might not be my best ever, but it's still a good life. Like let's keep that perspective. And I think we need to, as leaders, we need to share that perspective with people. They need to hear it right on. They need to be lifted up. They need to be connecting with people. And to get a message out of the blue from an old friend that says, hey, I was thinking about you today. How the heck are you? Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah.
To be able to do that strategically throughout the day, not only builds your business, it lifts people up and it lifts us up, because nothing lifts us up more than lifting up another person.
Well, our pastor that I was watching online, because we were sequestered, so to speak, on Sunday, his big message was faith over fear. Faith over fear. And guys, just know God's bigger than any of this. Just lean on your faith a little bit in these times. And I like Eric. When I called Eric and I said, "Hey, Eric, let's go live." I mean, I think people need some encouragement. I think they need to know they can be productive right where they are. And I got on this morning. I got kind of bold, Eric. It was not like me, but I went online this morning and just really shared. I said, "We need your help because maybe your business isn't thriving, ours is." And I asked people, if you've got some time, we'd love to help you be productive. And I felt guilty a little bit, like you said.
Yeah.
Have an awesome day. But I mean, I think how do we help people get through this unless we help people help themselves? And
right.
and we can do that from our perspective. You can do that from your perspective because, guys, Eric and I have been doing this home-based business thing as the norm for a long time. And don't be frustrated. That's my word to you guys. Don't be frustrated that you're at home. And I keep thinking your home can be your hub. It doesn't have to be your cave.
Yeah. I mean, we chose that long before this pandemic, we chose to make our homes our hub, and it's worked out, and so I agree with that 100%. What's funny is when you said faith over fear, what immediately went into my mind was another thing that scripture says, which is what conquers fear is love.
Yeah.
Right. And so, people are afraid to share their business because they feel they are trying to get from somebody, or they're trying, and you even felt a little guilty. You said doing it yourself, and you've done it a million times.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, let's keep the focus where it is. The focus is on sharing love.
Yeah.
Right. Go love on people, love them. Right. And one of the ways you're going to do that is, when appropriate, you're going to share your business, what you're doing with them. Maybe it'll help them, but you can't withhold your blessing from others because you're afraid of how they might respond to it. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So so I'm with you 100% on that. And I think, the other thing is, like I said, is if you are afraid, if you've got some fear, helping other people get through theirs is what's going to help you. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what parents do naturally, right? With our kids, we reassure them, and in the process, we feel better. So I think we have been asked to separate, but it's so important that we still come together even more than before, virtually, and let's get together and do stuff. I see some amazing things happening right now too. I mean, Zoom's an amazing tool. I'm glad everybody's using it. For the first time ever, I've had a couple Zooms drop. I'm like, must be because there's 100 million people on it now. Yeah. But my good buddy and business partner, Mike Lopez.
Sure.
He's a craft beer aficionado. And so he's got a network all over the country of guys that he knows, and they trade beer with each other, because we're in San Diego where there's a lot of breweries, so he can take the beer here and trade it. Yep. They had a virtual beer tasting event. People all over the country, guys all over the country. He had 25 people from different regions, and they were opening and sharing, what it tastes like with their friends via Zoom. It was kind of cool. I know that a large Juice Plus team, some ladies that I love and respect, recently held a nationwide prayer Zoom with their team to pray. I mean, so there's so many cool things happening with Zoom right now, where people are coming together and doing things. A good friend of mine who's a real estate broker in Long Beach, California, she had happy hour.
Oh, wow.
With her friends, happy hour Zoom, and they just had a good time and laughed and so, I mean, I think it's kind of a novel idea right now, but what a great way to actually intentionally build connection. And so for all the business owners that are watching us on this video, my recommendation to you guys is get creative and try to find a way to build up an event, something that your community of relationships is interested in, and bring people together. You'll be surprised how many people will show up for that and really get value from it.
We're sitting here video recording ourselves, Eric, but I mean, I can honestly tell you that in these times, I was so looking forward today to you and I connecting instead of having to flip on another TV show or something, because you talked about TeamZ being the relationships are the key, no matter what business you're in. And that's the deep core value that you're building. And that's what I want people to understand is when you leave this season, you got more time on your hands than you can spend right now, which is abnormal for all of us. Your financial accounts, for many of you, kind of got frozen. For those of us in certain industries, we're still growing, but the finances are another issue. But your relational capital, your relational bank account you could take this season so that when you exit from this, the conversations you started, the new people you've connected with could not only bless you in the present, and you can, if you're in the right industry, in the right spot, in the right place, you can build an amazing business right now. But when you exit and we go back to normal, just think about the value that those connections would have to your future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the relationships is really how we measure success and fortune, is what we give to others and what we invest in others. And, like I think everybody understands where you and I are coming from our hearts. The bottom line is this, is we invest in relationships, and we know it's going to help our business. We don't do it just to get the benefit to the business, because the reward really comes from the relationship. But I will tell you guys this, and I've been teaching this for 20 years now, which is when you invest in relationships systematically and consistently, your business will boom. So there is a financial payoff to that. And it's kind of like it's the idea that, the good guys do win. The good guys can win. If you dedicate yourself to building up others, you'll be surprised how quickly your business can build. And, like you said, direct sales, the opportunity is immediate. I mean, you guys, everybody's at home right now. I was telling people, if you're used to a 50% response rate, get ready for it being more like a 90% response rate, because people aren't driving their cars. They're not taking their kids to school. They're not going to work. They're at home. They get a message from somebody. They're going to respond to it. So, I mean, this is probably the best season ever to start or to accelerate a home-based direct sales business. But even other businesses, I don't know, if I was a car salesman, I mean, I would be connecting with people constantly, building relationships. Not only would it keep me going throughout this time, but it's going to front load demand for my business as soon as people are ready. It's like, there's no question, we are spenders as a society. We like to buy things. And when you put people at home and hold them there, they're going to have, pent up demand is going to be a real thing.
No question.
A real thing. I've coming from the real estate industry, I know a ton of real estate professionals, and the couple that I've talked to, their goal for the next week, 2 weeks is to close all the escrows they have open. And just during the time where they're at home is to build demand for, so that when we're kind of released, they're going to be, hair on fire busy. And so I think, that's the thing. It's all about relationships. Doesn't matter what business you're in. It's about building relationships, investing in people, and all of those investments do accrue over time.
Eric, those are nuggets of wisdom. But Eric and I'll speak out loud, but we're friends and just love mentoring at each other and iron sharpening iron with each other. We'll stay connected, and we'll do this again. Maybe do something where Eric and I'll dive in. Maybe we can talk about what a productive day looks like. There's some things that we can, maybe we've talked big picture with you guys today. We'll dig a little deeper. But as we wrap up, I'm going to ask Eric, when this post goes live, if he'll come in and put some links to some of the things you can use free for a period of time. And TeamZ's TeamZy, and you all know about Juice Plus. That's the thing that I do, and we want to bless you with that too. But Eric, thanks so much. I mean, for sharing your nuggets, for sharing your wisdom, and for making my day.
You made mine too. It's great to connect.
All right. Well, hey, listen, keep your family safe. Wash your hands. I did notice one thing. I mean, I've got nervous habits. I'll scratch my nose. You've not touched your face one time. I'm proud of you.
Oh, I was good. I was waiting for you to tell me the opposite.
No. All right.
I'm working on it.
All right. Be good. See ya.
Talk to you soon.